Hey, it's your girl, Dr. Candace. Welcome back to my channel. So listen, I am back today with a new message and I'm thrilled to be here on today. For those of you who are joining for the first time, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Don't forget to give this message a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. So the title of this message on today is upgrade. Okay, listen, I don't know about you, but I could sure use some upgrading in my life, right? I'm always down for it. I'm excited about it. And, this message came to me in multiple forms. First of all, we are kind of transitioning into that summer season. And so, although earthly seasons in life doesn't necessarily mean spiritual change, sometimes just the seasons, the shift in the environment and even in the weather kind of helps me reflect, So as we're transitioning into summer now, I'm kind of reflecting on the last two seasons, winter and spring. I'm reflecting on progress, growth individually, spiritually. I'm reflecting on how far have I met my goals, how far am I in the process, how I'm counting my blessings that I have received so far, even in this year. And I'm just excited for what the future holds for me. But also, I'm also looking at my house, right? I'm also looking at things that need to be cultivated, things that need to be changed. I'm looking for some upgrades, amen. And so, for those of you who are unaware, I mentioned this in one of my previous messages, but in Texas, we had this huge hard freeze back in February that pretty much jacked up the landscaping, okay? Now, let me just be honest with you, okay? My landscaping was pretty jacked up prior to that, but now you know how bad everything was. And so as I began to get into this space in my life, I'm so excited to get back out into the yard and do some yard work. But I know that because it's been a while, I had to, assess, the ground. I had to go back and see what's there. I had to make sure that I understood the condition of the ground and what existed underneath the ground, right? I'm gonna get to that a little bit later because we're gonna talk a little bit about the condition of our hearts, right? Some of us are missing the blessings, we're missing the opportunity, we're missing the mark because the condition of our heart is not where it needs to be. Amen. But I'm gonna get to that in just a moment. So another thing that really got my attention as I was preparing this word was this. Okay, what is this? A cell phone. For those of you who really know me, you know that I am not a person that would jump on the bandwagon to always be current with the newest technology. As a matter of fact, I am that person that will hold on to something until it completely blow up on me, okay, before I decide to upgrade. Now, there's a good and bad in that. The good is that I know my own expectation. I'm really confident with what I have. So I don't have to fit in to consider myself to be relevant or cool, right? With the cell phone, I only use it for calling, right? I use it for messaging and I use it for social media if I'm blogging or sharing a word of inspiration. That's pretty much it, right? But at some point, you gotta change from the old to the new because this is not gonna be here forever. Have y'all experienced that? Friendships, relationships, stuff. Some of you are in newer homes now. Some of you are in newer vehicles now. Your children transition from one phase to the next, right? We got to sometimes think, okay, out with the old and in with the new. And so I guess ultimately this message in reference to upgrading is tied into transformation. Because if we don't try to grow, and if we are conveniently at a level 5 because we have improved from level 2 and we have jumped from level 1 and now I'm at a comfortable 5, I'm chilling, I'm good, life is great. God is saying, well, hold on. Level 5 is good, but that does not even compare to where I'm trying to take you, right? God is saying, I'm trying to take you to newer levels. And God is saying that there is more for you. And God is saying, and you may be at a level 5, but are you living your purpose in level 5, right? So one question I want to ask you before we jump into the word on today is, are you living your purpose? Are you living your purpose where you are? Living your purpose does not equate to I'm having the best life right now, because you can be living your purpose while you're going through some transitions, while you're going through some seasons of weight or lack. You may be at a place where you got some devils on your level, right? And you're trying to still live your purpose. You're still serving your community. You're still helping others in need. You're still reading the word. You're still being used. You're being that vessel. You're being a light to the world, right? So are you living your purpose? And if you don't know your purpose, are you some sort of service to other people? Are you there to be a shoulder to cry on? Or are you reliable? Or are you someone who is available when someone needs you? Or are you there to help others with whatever they need, right? Are you there to be a word of inspiration or a model of inspiration and wisdom to someone else's life, right? Until you find your purpose. Are you even seeking your purpose, right? So these are some things to look forward to. And these are some things to think about. And so as I began to prepare this message, upgrade, it was one of the reasons because this phone was in need of an upgrade, right? You may already know that most phones, their lifespan is 2 years, right? I stretched this sucker out for 3, okay? But last year I was at a place where my phone was starting to really act up, and I'm like, no, I'm not giving in to that. My phone is okay. I'm gonna, do what I could do with it. If it work, it work. If it don't, it don't. And so throughout the year, my phone began to get to a point where it would stop charging on me and it would not hold a charge. And so when you really think about it, it all the apps that I had and even just having this, it was literally sucking the life out of me because I had to be patient while this phone charged just so I can use it. Amen. Come on now. And so sometimes in life, we just hold on to things that are not even helping us grow. We are holding on to things that ultimately hold us back, right? We hold on to things thinking that we have a good reason for it, but God is saying maybe it's time to let that thing go. I recently had an emergency situation, and I typically don't share my business like this, but I'm gonna share with you all just to be a little candid, just so you kind of get the point. But as I mentioned before, this phone is for calls, it's for text, and it's also for blogging, social media. But I was at a place where there was attacks happening in the neighborhood, and when I needed the phone the most, it was not charged. Okay, that was a huge wake up call. I was home alone. And it got to a point where if that wasn't going to move me to looking for something new, I don't know what was. And you may encounter some things in your personal life inadvertently where you have had some strong wake-up calls that you did not take heed to, right? You may have seen some red flags, some black flags, some yellow flags, some blue flags in that relationship, some orange ones, smoke, fire, all that. But you didn't take heed to that. So you held on to the thing that was sucking the life out of you. Amen. There may have been some things that you have encountered on your job that was really taking and pulling the life out of you. But instead of looking for something else, you just go to work every day and just take it. Okay. It's sucking the energy. It's sucking the creativity out of you. It's time to let some things go. There may be some people in your inner family that you just not meshing with for whatever reason. Sometimes it's just best to let some things go and love from a distance. Amen. And a lot of times we hold on to things in life, including grudges, including hurt, including anger, including so many more. And if we don't let those things go, then we will become like this, dead, broken, inoperable. And how can we serve God's purpose if we don't have a soul? How can we serve God's purpose if we are empty? How can we serve God's purpose if we don't have good fruit? Amen. So I want to direct your attention today to a light word. This is coming from Luke chapter 6, verses 43 through 45. It says, "For no good tree bears bad fruit." Let me read that again. "For no good tree bears bad fruit, nor again does a bad tree bear good fruit." So that's good, because a bad tree cannot produce good fruit, okay? "For each tree is known by its own fruits." Okay, what are you known by? What fruit are you showing to the world? If somebody were to describe you, and I mean somebody who really is not out for you, and someone that is not envious of you, but if they really were honest, and people around you who really know you, if they described you, what would they say you are? What type of fruits would they consider you to bear? So think of that and when you are self-reflecting. For figs are not gathered from the thorn bushes, nor are grapes picked from a bramble bush. The good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good, and the evil person out of his evil treasure produces evil. For out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks. So what's in your heart is what's going to come out. What you put in your body is what's going to come out. For those of you who know me on a fitness level, I talk about that often, that if you put sugar and salt in your body, your pores are going to really scream, okay? You're going to really see that when you begin to expand in different areas that you don't want to expand, okay? But that's for another day. So what you put in is what comes out, the treasure. What's in your treasure box? Is it fruit? Is it patience? Is it kindness? Is it self-control? Is it love? And I'm not talking about the worldly view of love. I'm talking about biblical love. Amen. Is it joy? Not worldly joy, because it's not tied to happiness, but biblical joy. Is it self-control? Amen. Is it goodness? Or is it the treasure of evil? Is it deception, right? Is it pain? Is it jealousy? Is it envy, right? Is it anger? Is it, revenge and vengeance? Is it so many things that when people look at you, they don't want to even be associated with you because there's always something negative coming out, right? And so we got to be careful with our words, because you can tell somebody, I love you with all my heart. But if your heart is the heart of treasure, then in moments, when that person needs you the most, you're going to show that type of love. Yeah, I love you with all my heart. So when that person really needs you, you may not be there for them because that's not what your heart produces. Your heart doesn't produce security and protection. It produces envy. It produces hate. When that person that you claim that you love with all your heart begin to elevate and take flight in their life and great things are happening, then instead of you being there for them and loving them with all of your heart, you're going to love them with all of your jealousy. You're going to love them with all of your hatefulness. You're going to love them with all of your evil, right? So you got to be careful about the people that you're linking yourself with, right? Because you don't know what is produced in their heart. What's produced in their heart is going to come into your path. But you got to also assess you, because you can't control the lives of other people. You can only control yourself, right? And so what's cultivated within your heart are the things that you need to focus on so that you can move up to different levels, right? So as I stated before, I was in my flower bed and I was, trying to see, I had to carefully go around and see what lived in there, okay? Because sometimes when you abandon some stuff, amen, when you abandon the word, amen, it produces space for the enemy. It produces space for parasites. It produces space for other things that you did not invite into your presence, but ultimately you kind of did invite them because you didn't tell them they couldn't go nowhere. You didn't protect your home. You didn't pray that thing away. You pretty much neglected it, so you invited it all in. Amen. Okay, it's like having a home without a security system, right? You kind of inviting people in and you leave your door wide open, then yes, they're gonna come in and take your stuff. So you gotta, go in and see what's in there. So it's been a while. So I had to make sure that before I got into the ground, I had to know what was in it. So I had to kill some stuff. I saw there was some weeds. I had to pull some of those weeds away, right? So here I am. I'm being Miss Martha Stewart in the front yard, and I get to a point where I go in unprotected, right? I go in without gloves. So here I am, I'm pulling, I'm digging, I'm paving, I'm doing all these different things, right? To the point where I'm producing bad scars. I'm producing blisters on my hand. Yeah, that was a little foolish, okay? But sometimes we do foolish things to get the job done, right? And that's another example of you got to be careful in protecting yourself, not to haste to get things done, but to do it properly in the right way. So midway in my project, my hands were cut wide open. It was unbearable for me. So I go in, wash my hands, put some bandages on, and guess what I did? I went right back out into the dirt. Y'all, how many times have you all said that you were going to head into the right direction, and now, okay, I got this vision, I got this idea, and I'm going to take flight, and I'm willing to trust you, God, and God has given us the idea, he's given us the vision, he's even given us the finances. but then we go back into the dirt. We go back into the dirt. And so what ended up happening was I'm going into the dirt, but the dirt is pulling away the bandage because it's not sticking anymore. Let me share this light parable with you. This is from Matthew 9:16. It says, "No one sews a patch of new cloth on an old garment, for the patch will pull away from the garment, making the tear worse." Okay? Listen, speaking of transformation, right? And my little metaphor I mentioned about, trying to put a patch on things. When you put patches on things, it's not going to last very long, right? Total transformation is a submerge. It is completely taking whatever that was, it's dying to the flesh so that you can walk into the spirit as a new person. Now, we all make mistakes in life because we know that the higher the level we're trying to go, the enemy is threatened. So he's going to place distraction in our path, right? You may have been in that position where God has given you the finances for that business and you have come from the dream, the vision. So now you have the money, but for some reason you are sitting on that and you are afraid to move forward because the enemy is placing doubt in you. Or you may mismanage the money that God has given you because the enemy has shown you something different other than the actual plan that God has placed before you. So you spent the money on something that was not aligned to the purpose that God has called you to move into. So what happens is in life, we have these moments when we, kind of backslide a little bit, and then we come back to our senses, and then we try to walk with God, and then we become excited because God is speaking to us and he's giving us these visions and dreams. But then somewhere along the way, as we're moving forward, we lose sight of God and we're focusing on the actual vision. We're focusing on the dream because we're excited about that. And a lot of times we mess up because God is the one that is going to open up the pathway. He's going to guide us to that dream, to that vision, to the manifestation of that. And so when we get into that place where we are moving and we're operating, but then we slowly stop, reading our devotional, we slowly stop praying, we slowly stop even talking about God, right? And now we're just going to church just to say we're going. We're not really investing our time in building that relationship with God. Then it's easier for the enemy to distract us along the way. And what we thought we were doing was right because we had greatest intentions, we become blindsided by the attack of the enemy. So when we're upgrading, we got to upgrade holistically. We got to upgrade in character, upgrade the condition of your heart. Just as I had to check the condition of my flower bed before I jumped into that, you got to check the condition of your heart, but also the condition of the relationship you're about to jump into, okay? You want to check into the condition of the relationship and friendships that you are building right now. The condition of the company that you are trying to work for, the condition of the university that you're trying to apply to. Listen, in life, we live in an information, society where it's all over the place. But many of us don't check the conditions of the things that we are signing to. How often do you read contracts? How often do you actually, sign a full signature, or you just signing a little line, to say, okay, I'm done? The enemy has created a way to distract us with busyness to where we are putting our own personal information at risk. We got to get to a place where we are examining the condition of things before we make decisions in life. And when you can do that, I say that no matter, even if you're still working the same job in the same position, you are upgrading in character. You are upgrading in wisdom. And when you can do that and you can hold on to the precious fruit that God has presented for you and created for you and allowed to cultivate within you, then when the timing is right, you won't miss that opportunity. You're going to move forward and you're going to move forth with greatness and excellence. And people around you are going to wonder, how was he or she able to still move forward? It's because it wasn't by your might. It was the love and the grace and the mercy from God that has helped you get there. Amen. So one last point before I go on today. So I finally got a cell phone, y'all. Okay. I did upgrade finally. I can be very stubborn at times, but I knew that after that scare, listen, I wasn't stupid. Okay. So I finally got a cell phone, but let me tell you, For about a week after I received the phone, I was still operating on the old, y'all, okay? Still operating on the old. And sometimes we do that in life when we get the blessing. We get to a place where the enemy is still distracting us, right? And he doesn't want us to progress or to move forward in that new thing. So he will set traps of distraction so that you don't have time to go ahead and activate the new thing. You guys, activate the new, activate your core, activate the stuff that God has given you in your life. If you got a vision, activate that vision, okay? If you have a desire, activate that desire. If you have a will, activate that will. Walk into whatever it is that God has called you to walk into. Activate obedience, activate the courage within you. It takes willpower, but it also takes energy, because we know that faith without works is dead, right? And many of us were sitting on knowledge, we're sitting on Bible, we're sitting on so many things, but if we don't apply it in life, it's not going to work. If I don't activate my new phone, it may be with me, but in moments when I need it, it's not going to do anything for me. And you got to get to a place where whatever you are wanting in life and wherever you are in life, you got to make sure it's activated. There have been some relationships that need to be ignited again. There have been some opportunities and some mindsets that need to be activated again, where you got to understand that you're still here, so God is not done with you yet. So while you sitting back holding on to the old stuff, let go of that stuff, purge that stuff out, and be inclined to the new. So listen, my message today is upgrade. Make sure that you are not afraid to upgrade. Upgrading is not a selfish thing. It's basically saying, you know what? I appreciate, okay? Because I think that when we just neglect ourselves, then that is selfish, ultimately, and very disrespectful. God brought us, he sacrificed, a big sacrifice. And so did Jesus. His life was on the line so that we can seek abundant life, but also enjoy the fruit, enjoy the life that we live on today. And for us to just throw it away, that is disrespectful, right? It's like giving a gift to someone that you have placed all of your heart, all of your thought into it. It was sentimental, for them to just lose it, or for them to just throw it in the trash, right? So don't treat your life as though as if it is not something that's valuable. Yes, we have gone through the fire, but we are not consumed. Amen. We are blessed, and we are blessed creatures in this world with a purpose. So I ask you this once again: what level are you on? And even if you're at a level 2, well, good news for you. The sky's the limit for you. If you are at a level 20, then don't get stuck there. Continue to move forward. And if wherever level that you are in life, and wherever season that you're in, whether you are in a season of being on the peak or if you are in the valley, listen, God has a purpose for you. Continue to live that purpose wherever you are in life. And when you continue to do that, then you are giving God the glory. I enjoyed my time with each and every single one of you. Again, don't forget to like this message and to subscribe. And I'll catch you in my next message. God bless.